We are talking mole ratios. So you did a reading on this earlier, and this is one of the assignments that's due this week. We'll do a couple problems together, and then hopefully that'll help you in finishing this off on your own. Okay, so I wrote down all the steps here that are necessary for you. So it says 1, you need a balanced chemical equation. In this first problem on your worksheet, it's already balanced for you. So you can check it if you want. Like here you have 4 hydrogens, here you have 2 oxygens, here you have 4 hydrogens, and you have 2 oxygens as well. So we know that one's balanced. In this one, you do need to balance it. This one, just ignore it. I realize the elements that I gave you, like the combination of them, you can't balance them. So my bad. So really all you got to do are these two, and we're going to do the first one together. So let's erase this. Okay. So it says you need coefficient. The coefficient stands for the number of moles. So this is your chemical equation. And we know that 1 mole is always going to equal the molar mass. In the chemical equation, the coefficients are also telling you how many moles you have for that certain substance. So here you have 2 elements. You have hydrogen and oxygen, but they're in different combinations that you actually have 3 elements. Okay? A mole ratio is the coefficients between 2 compounds or elements. We talked about that. Determine the number of mole ratios. Okay, so you're going to use the formula N times N minus 1, where N equals the number of substance. The number of substances. So here, as we said, we have 3. We have hydrogen gas, we have oxygen gas, and then we have water, which is a liquid. So we have 3 substances times 3 substances minus 1, which will give you 3 times 2, which will equal 6. So in total, you have 6 mole ratios. A mole ratio is basically just a conversion factor. It's basically saying for every mole of hydrogen gas you have this amount of moles of oxygen gas. Okay, so you'll end up with 6. Basically, you're going to write it in the form of a fraction. Each substance is going to be its own numerator. So for example, we'll start with hydrogen gas. So 2 moles of H2 are going to be present for every 1 mole of oxygen gas. Okay, so we did one of them. Basically, we're distributing. So we did that one already. Now we got to do this one. So 2 moles of hydrogen gas are going to create 2 moles of H2O. Okay, let's pick another color. So we did that one. We have distributed. We have 2 out of the 6. We're good with that. Now we're going to start with oxygen gas. So we're going to basically distribute it. So for every 1 mole of oxygen gas, you're going to have 2 moles of hydrogen gas. Okay, we did that one. Now you're going to the next one. For every 1 mole of oxygen gas, you're going to have 2 moles of H2O. All right. I guess we'll do black. Actually, I'm not feeling that color. Let's do purple. I'm feeling funky. So now we move on to H2O. For every 2 moles of H2O, you're going to have 1 mole of oxygen gas. For every 2 moles of H2O, you're going to have 2 moles of hydrogen gas. And that's basically what you're doing in this problem. You are writing out these, conversion factors because it'll be easier when you do your next activity, which is actually the next worksheet. So for this one, the second problem, you're going to have to balance the equation. You're going to figure out how many mole ratios are present. So you'll use the equation N times N minus 1, and then you'll write out all of the mole ratios. So every substance, you're basically, I don't want to say distributing because that's not really what you're doing. Ooh, my bad. You are basically, like if this is substance 1, 2, 3, 4, you're going to always, all of your mole ratios, you're going to pick a number. So like say we're starting with substance 1. So we'll say sub 1. You're going to put that in a fraction, and the other substances are going to go ahead and be the denominator. So you'll have 4, since here you have 4 substances, you'll have 4 mole ratios where substance 1, magnesium chloride, is going to be your denominator, and then you're going to plug in the other substances as the denominator. After you get those 4, you'll move on to the next substance and keep doing that. Okay. All right. Let me know if you need any help with this particular worksheet, and then we'll